Alright, hey, welcome to the HIIT Center. We're going to go over some of the progressions that we use inside of our weight training aspects and how we can take an athlete from point A after our screening process all the way to continued development through the athlete development training program. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to take in consideration in these screens is one, the overhead squat, boom, the internal and external rotation of an athlete, the hurdle high step, and some of these other screens. What we're going to be looking at is some of those weaknesses and imbalances that's going to carry over into the actual aspect of them being able to squat. Alright, so after we do the FMS screening, what we're going to do is look at their ability to pretty much front squat all the way to progress into a back squat. So first thing that we want to look at is some balances. If we're able to take, the athlete's able to take a stick, arms out, squat, and not have that stick roll forward on us, this is going to show us where we're going to have some possibilities of that torso not being upright, possibly imbalances in the hip, and not being able to get those knees either externally rotating or they're having that internal rotation, which we don't want to have throughout a full range of motion of a squat. Might carry over into our plyometrics and ballistic nature of running and jumping. So what we want to be able to do is have that stick up front. This is just a nice little checks and balance. And squat. Boom. That stick is up tall, their torso is up tall, they're externally rotated with those knees, and then they're able to stand back up. Good upright posture. From there, there's some strength issues that we might have. If we do load the athlete now, well, we might be apparent in those motor patterns being deficient. So what we might want to move into is some dumbbell squats or goblet squats. From the side, you're watching the athlete, you're still kind of getting into that elbows being pushed through, not necessarily into that external rotation yet, but they are getting some of that shoulder girdle stability, core stability, and we're definitely emphasizing that lower body squat position and then coming back up. Notice a lot of this is in kind of a front squat type of position. The athlete is necessarily going to have to sit back on those heels. You're going to be looking at that ankle flexibility, the knee flexibility, hip mobility. Inside of that, if you do see some issues always coming from the ground up, you might see it in the ankles first. They might be hypermobile, allowing some discrete malfunctioning motor patterns up the body. Other than that, you might have limitations as well. So you might have to raise the heel. Getting a pair of weightlifting shoes for weight training is also a beneficial aspect for those type of athletes that are looking to continue in their weight training. So we might see some of that internal rotation still during that goblet squat. So what we might want to do during our dynamic warm-up or during our actual lifts is have that band around the knees so that they start learning how to fire those abductors and those adductors in their glutes so they can start pushing those knees out through that range of motion of the squat. As you have those knees coming in, they're going to start learning that might be a strength pattern for them, but that's not necessarily what we want to be able to do for an athlete while they're performing ballistic athletics, okay? So from there, we've got a good squat position. We checked with the dial. We've developed over a couple of progressions through phases of the weight training with some of the goblet squats. We've got them fired up. We're getting that neuromotor pattern fired up with the glutes and the external rotation of the knees. We have good upright posture. We're also starting to see that their internal and external rotation of the arms is coming around throughout their working out. And then now we can emphasize some of the front squats with the bar. Again, we're still emphasizing that bar front squat so that they're loading the heels. They're getting that power position in on the start. That pelvis rotation is back, driving back up through those heels. All right. From there, we're starting to see that good posture. Again, you're probably not going to be able to front squat more than you back squat, so this is also a good way to kind of regulate neural loading and everything like that, and have a concentrated load emphasis throughout that phase of loading that athlete. Finally, they're in that high bar back squat, all right, so that it carries over and keeping that upright torso, full range of motion, squatting down, knees are behind, or the toes, shoulders are behind the knees, driving back up through the heels, okay? Again, you just want to watch all of the ranges of motion from the ground up, and those are the type of progressions and emphasis that we have for the athletic development for a youth athlete all the way up to an elite athlete, and we can continue their athletic progress throughout their career.